morning. It's another Wednesday morning, and I have really backed myself in a corner with this topic. We're still dealing with the light and the dark, and I have changed in my writing about this subject, the light and the dark, the title from Power Outages in Hell, which I'm still calling this series, to Just Saying, which is a little more freeing for me to just express my opinion. But the topic for today is I Smell Trouble, Outlaw Girl. And why I chose those words to make a topic like that, I'm not really sure. It was months ago that I picked that out. But basically what I'm thinking of with the light and the dark is that in the dark, you associate certain things like humor. Of course, you can have that in the light, like trucking, which is a fast little paced walk with lots of energy, like a little bantering back and forth. Not that those things are really dark, but you just, when you think of the light, it's sort of serious. So an example of that is the man who said to the woman, "Do you want to get religion?" And she said, "Oh, yes, I do, but I want to have some fun first." So many of us don't associate fun with spirituality, and that is just the opposite of what the scriptures would tell us about that. It's supposedly a very joyful experience to delve into our spirituality, or the light is associated with joy. I am particularly wanting to stress that the reason I said I smell trouble is because I associate smell with wild things. We know our dogs are their primary sense is to smell, but also animals in the wild, rather than vision or hearing, is that smell, that sense of smell. So that's why I chose I smell trouble. And the word trouble is sort of like the song Trouble, I smell trouble coming in. And it's about someone talking about a redhead coming in, and that she was the instigator of trouble in the bar. So that's one of the reasons I used trouble. I would hope that when we really get serious about looking at the dark and the light sides of ourselves, that we would come to realize that the greatest joy is in that light side. That's where you have humor that is not dirty, poking fun at people, which is just a horrible form of humor. Sarcasm can be anger kind of expressed with humor. The kinds of humor that are very funny would be sort of like Mark Twain humor, and even John Prine humor, which is kind of edgy, but very, in a way, very wholesome. And I think that what we are looking for in our search for the light is things that are wholesome and that we want to include in our whole being, because we're kind of working on the premise that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So integrating things into yourself, and also, I hope, nationally, that's where the light really needs to come in. I think you would agree with that. Just recently, we had some terrible incidents where older citizens of a certain ethnic group were being targeted by some of our American citizens, and that just, because I work with older people, that just hit me so much right, right here. And I sometimes think that our dark side, so many of us as Americans have fallen prey to that dark energy, and hopefully it's not you and me. And I think that it is very scary, and that sometimes you might even think, my gosh, is there going to be an annihilation of humanity with all of the evil that is going on in the world today? But that can be counteracted with walking in the light. And I think so many of us are moving in that direction. I hear just little bits and pieces here and there. Like, for instance, I heard, can't tell you where, please don't quote me, that the way out of gangster rap was through hip hop. And I've also heard an interview with a young woman who said that she was taking hip hop and making a series for a national television channel, and making it a cultural series. So that's on one end. And on the other hand, there are musicians that are outside of that area that are talking about love and the light. Lots of musicians. Our churches are renewing their awakening to the experience of the light within, rather than just talking about it. And we have all sorts of people interested in the cosmic aspect of the light, so that we protect our planet, and many, many others, dancers, artists. The light can be expressed in so many ways. So one of the things I hope that you will do is to find ways to express it, rather than talking, to find ways to express your version of the light, your version of keeping part of the wonderful part of our darker sides, or our yielding sides. And that would be the trucking, the chutzpah, the hustle, all of that we associate with. We don't really associate that with spirituality, but keeping some of that, keeping the boldness, the confidence, the hustle, the chutzpah, the caginess, the mischief, even keeping those qualities for yourself, to make life interesting, because it does make life interesting, and we do need to be powerful people. And I don't advocate people being very meek. I advocate a dynamic humility, and I call it dynamic because I think that if you know that you want to be humble and kind, that you can also be a very dynamic person. And hopefully that will happen for you, for me. And I will look forward to taking another topic next week. This one has not been that easy. The article was not easy to write. But if you would like to give responses to it, you're always welcome to contact me. And my number is up at the end of this little presentation. Thanks.